That is it, full time. Wolves 1, Burnley 0. A Wolves deserved win there. A really solid performance. They kind of really, let's be honest, breezed past Burnley. But in this video, we're going to be dissecting, analysing, and reacting to the game itself. So please do smash the like button and do subscribe if you're new to the channel. Now, where to start in this game? Let's be honest, Burnley were playing themselves into trouble. We can talk about that goal properly, like go into massive detail. We spoke about Burnley previously on the channel. We spoke about it on the podcast, and we hear a lot of people talk about Burnley with this passing style of play. And I'm starting to think now it's a bit naive. Well, that's what I thought at the start, actually. And I'm now starting to think it's the arrogance of company not changing the way they were playing. Because you could see the amount of times Trafford gave away that ball or Dara shaded. It was constant in that game. And Wolves, to be honest, they were really slow to start with. Burnley, for the first half an hour, looked like they could get something. But yet again, it's this slow, methodical football with Burnley where they're not really going at this Wolves side. Because that first half an hour, Wolves were there for the taking, but Wolves really grew into the game. And just after that half an hour, just completely dominated for the next 60 minutes. And what they did with that first goal that they scored, the only goal that they scored, with that press. And what they did is, you could tell with the trigger, as soon as the ball went into the midfield, they allowed Trafford to pass it out to the defender. The defender then passes it into Sander Berge. And on that first touch, there are 4 players pressing that Wolves team. 4 players on 3 defenders instantly. Lamina, everyone was all up there. Sarabia, Hwang, Cunha, all 4 of them pressed so high up. And instantly they win the ball back off that poor Sander Berge touch, because to be honest, he can't play in that system. I feel like everyone could have told you that from when he was at Sheffield United, let's be honest. Takes that heavy touch. Sarabia, beautiful pass, by the way. And I think that will really go unnoticed, especially with the fact that he couldn't beat the first man on any of his corners. And I feel like that's kind of thing that you remember as a football fan. But that little chip pass that he did over the defender into Cunha. Cunha, one touch, moves it over to Hwang. And Hwang took his goal so beautifully. And what I love about the goal itself was, you saw his little... He did a little stutter, didn't he? A little flicker of the leg, and then he slots it right into that far corner. And with that little gentle kind of movement that he did, it moved the defender and it moved the goalkeeper. A beautiful finish. But let's be honest, Burnley were really poor today. They really had one big chance, and that was from Jay Rodriguez. And he should have really scored a massive save from Bentley, but really he should be doing a lot better than that. He had so much time, and to be honest, he was too relaxed with it. He kind of really fluffed his line. And in that moment, it was around about the half an hour mark, where Bentley made a double save. I've written it down on my notes here. He made a massive double save, and you thought, okay, this is Burnley's moment. And instantly, it was like Wolves then all of a sudden, it was like they'd been dropped into an ice bath. They suddenly switched on. Next thing you know, then they just dominate for the rest of the game. Because at the start, they were playing themselves into trouble. The Wolves fans were getting on the players' back when they were trying to pass out from the back. I think I remember Gomez trying to do a back heel inside of his own box. It was a really weird start from Wolves. It was as if they were expecting a bit more from Burnley, because we've seen in Burnley in previous weeks this high energy style, and I think it would have really suited Wolves if Burnley really pushed up the pitch quite high, and then they can counter, which we've seen Wolves do so well against other sides. But if I'm honest, I was really disappointed with Burnley. Wolves never had to get out of second gear. A really good, solid performance from them. A performance that wasn't probably the most attractive and interesting and exciting game to watch, but they've just done the job. They've done them over. They have just literally breezed past this Burnley side. Really good performance and massive for the table. I was looking at the stats overall. Burnley in previous weeks have been having a lot of possession, but Wolves had more possession. The shot stats, Burnley had 12 shots, but only 3 on target. And I think that really summed up Burnley's performance. They've got absolutely when you watch them, you can tell they haven't got that end product, do they? They don't have that conviction. Whereas you look at the Wolves created really one big chance, and like that, they scored. And Hwang, a player in which last season no one expected him to reach the heights that he has done this season, and Cunha as well. The two of them really were linking up well. And to be honest, towards the end, the Wolves could have got a second and a third, and they probably should have. I don't understand why Traore towards the end was passing the ball backwards. It was as if because they knew there was never looked like they were going to concede. It was as if they didn't need to score. It was kind of walking pace, wasn't it? Towards the end, Wolves, kind of the players that they brought on, they were just passing it around, just slowing down the clock. And overall, there's not really much else to say. Mainly Sander Berge as well probably should have had a red card. I don't understand. He was given a yellow card, rightly so. I don't understand why the commentator didn't agree with it. And then he was allowed to make a few extra fouls after. Really odd. Especially, I feel like Wolves have probably been done there by another decision. But if I'm honest, it doesn't really matter. It doesn't really affect the end result. I do want to also speak about Trafford. Because as good as Wolves were, Trafford, I'm still not convinced by him, and I don't understand whether it might be the pressure that company's style of play is inflicting on him, because he just does not look convincing when passing out from the back. I have never seen a keeper give away the ball so much and just look so nervy, whether it be catching crosses, whether he just taking a touch, like he just struggled. This guy, let's be honest, in the England under-21s in the summer, he looked so confident, a player that you could just tell felt like he was the man. And now at Burnley, he looks like a shadow of himself. Really, really interesting kind of dynamic. And I feel like company's not helping him here at all. And I don't think the Burnley players are, to be honest, as well, because I thought the defence don't look like they can pass out from the back. And it's just quite a sour, really difficult watch when you're watching them trying to pass out from the back. And we've spoke about it, and a lot of people talking about the turnaround in form. But if I'm honest, I'm not convinced by Burnley, and I think that kind of game against Sheffield United just showed us all how poor those two sides are. We've got Luton, who've been playing really well, whereas Sheffield United and Burnley just aren't good enough. And fair play to Wolves. Wolves have just really done the job on them, a really solid, good performance, and there's not really much else to say. It's a really difficult one to analyse because Wolves just did enough. They scored the goal, then they sat off. They kind of just slowed the game down, dominated possession, and just kept Burnley at arm's length. It's as if a toddler was fighting an adult. That's the best way of describing it. And Wolves are just put their hand out, push the toddler away, and Burnley are swinging and they can't get anywhere near. That's the best way to describe it. But overall, not the most exciting and brilliant game to watch, but Wolves have just done a number on Burnley. Let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below, and please do smash the like button and do subscribe if you're new to the channel. I'm intrigued to hear what everyone else thought of the game, but thank you for watching, and I will speak to you guys soon.